Hey all, Heretic here, and today in the Battlegrounds, we're going to be talking about new things. Well, mostly new things. So Season 9 is here, and these are going to be some of the reveals for the new things we're getting. We're going to be looking at heroes that are going to be new, changing. We're going to look at some neutral minions. We're going to look at some spells. We're going to dive into a whole lot of different fun things. This stuff's pretty exciting, so let's get ready and let's jump right into the heroes. We're going to start with heroes that are changing. No heroes are leaving. We're all safe there. But the heroes that are changing, we're going to start with Lich Bazile's hero power is 2 gold, graveyard shift, steal a card from the tavern, take 2 damage. Now, previously it was 2 gold, but you take damage equal to the tavern tier of the card you stole. Now you're going to be able to just take damage based on the flat 2 rate, which is much better, because if you don't have a way to prevent that damage, taking a tier 6 kind of sucks. So I'm going to happily take my 2 damage with this from now on. Nice change for Lich Baz. Shudderwock got hit pretty hard with the nerf stick. Shudderwock's new version of their hero power snicker stack is 0 gold still, but trigger a friendly minion's battle cry unlocks on tier 3. Now this is a big change. Shudderwock doesn't have much armor, typically is really reliant on finding a couple early battle cry minions to carry them forward, because with as little armor as they have, they die really fast. So while I don't know if there's any armor adjustments, I would have to think with this change, Shudder is going to be picking up a few armor, because if it stays really low and this is the new hero power, we're going to see a lot more dead Shudderwocks than we did before. Trade Prince Gallywick's got to change? Well, yes, no, hero power is exactly the same. The change is Gallywick's is now unbanned in elemental lobbies. Gallywick's players rejoice. We can once again play Gallywick's a little more. Please, please, sir, can I have a little more armor? Marin the Manager got a little bit of a change, and it might not be what you expect or hoped. This is Marin can't get the following trinkets. Well, the reason for that being is they're no longer in the game, the things they're trying to pull from, so spoilers a little bit, but Kaboombot Portrait, Eternal Portrait, Fellblood Portrait, Tiger Carving, Souvenir Stand, Goose Portrait, and Empowered Mirror are all gone from Marin's pool. Now this means Marin's hero power is just that, what it was before. You get a lesser trinket on turn 5, and that is it. I'm not sure if Marin is even remotely playable now. I mean, we'll see. I'm sure someone will find something, but he certainly doesn't look good. He definitely looks like a very low desire to play hero, at least to me. Now let's jump over the spells. Now we have some new spells, but we're going to start with the spells we're losing. The spells that are going to be leaving are Suspicious Stimulant, Plunder Seeker, Ritual of Growth, Hop of the Beanstalk, Buddy Up, and Pointy Arrow from standard Battlegrounds. And then from the duos, we're going to be losing Portal and a Bottle. Now, my take on this, I'm sad to see Ritual of Growth gone. Of course, I loved getting those early high tier minions, but I've also been trolled by it a number of times from my opponent, so maybe not so bad. Top of the Beanstalk was expensive, but I didn't like it a whole lot. Buddy Up certainly is a vice of mine that I would take, and it would usually just troll me because there's too many buddies for it to consistently be good. But in Pointy Arrow, actually pretty good for 1 gold at tier 1. I use that one quite a bit, throw that on a mech and just have fun. So I mean, I'm definitely not thrilled with some of the ones leaving, but like Plunder Seeker never really felt great unless you were playing full pirates, and even then it wasn't insane. So just not too bad. Let's take a look at the new ones. Now we're going to look at the spells that have changed. First, we have Boon of Beetles, tier 4, 1 gold. When you have space in combat, summon 2 beetles and give them taunt. Now you're probably thinking, oh, that doesn't sound anywhere near what it used to do, but yeah, but if you're a beast player, you'll see in a couple. At tier 5 for 2 gold, we have Saloon's Finest, refresh the tavern with tavern spells. Happy with that change, no complaints from me. Contracted Corpse, tier 5, 3 gold now. Still not bad. Discover a Death Rattle minion. I'm okay with this change, not a problem. Now for the fun stuff. Now we got to look at the new spells and jump into all this insanity. These are quite different, so get ready. Let's have some fun. First, we've got time management. This is tier 3, 4 gold. Choose one, give your minions +2/+2, or at the start of your next turn, give them +4/+4. You've got a nice full board. You're in decent shape. +4/+4 is amazing. You're almost dead. You're desperate for any kind of stats you can get. +2/+2 right now is not bad. Either way, definitely a good spell when you need it. Boundless Potential is next. This tier 4, 4 gold spell is choose one. Discover a minion of your tier or a tavern spell of a tier higher. I like this a whole lot. This is pretty fun. I mean, it's 4 gold, so it's not cheap, but you're getting to choose a minion from your tier. At least you're guaranteed from your tier there. And then if you want the spell, you can get one from a higher tier, which of course can be valuable depending what you're going for. I like the potential on this, should be fun. Vandrel's Fortune, tier 6, 3 gold. Discover a choose one minion. It has both effects combined. Usually you only get half them, now you get both. Definitely worth it. Knockoff Wisdom Ball is a tier 6, 3 gold spell. Your next 2 refreshes are helpful. Well, as we know, Wisdom Ball is random in its effects, pretty much. But your next 2 are going to be helpful. Are very interesting for 3 gold, and if you're in a good position or if you're just desperate, I think this has some interesting potential and definitely will see a lot of play. Finally, we have the Road Less Traveled tier 6, 4 gold. Choose one. Get a random tier 6 minion or get 2 random tier 5 minions. Now, obviously, depending what your needs are and what minions you're looking for, this is really good. But it's just random ones you're getting. So at 4 gold, I think this is going to be a spell you're happily generating somehow or getting free. I typically, I don't know, the 4 gold, it's not a discover, it's just a random one, makes me not love it, but it's still fun. I like the RNG element of it. I definitely like the 2 tier 5s, but getting the 1 tier 6, depending how desperate I am for direction, it has some potential, but I think this is going to be a better free card than one I slammed down 4 gold for. It's time to talk neutrals. We got to talk about the minions that are leaving first. We're going to say goodbye to some old friends and see how much we're going to miss them. First, Ferrex, Wrath of the Sun, gone. I am going to miss this from my undead boards. Next, we're going to be losing Motley Phalanx. Don't care that much. Not bad, but... Next, Rendell the Mastermind. This poor guy is always coming and going from the lobbies. Not really surprised there. I don't hate it. I like the stat line and the effect, but it's not insane, of course. Witchwing Nest Matron is gone again. This one has seen many, many showings. It's either useless or one of the best cards you can find when you get it. An early triple into this with some summons really can give you a ton of value. But, you know, typically it's just a 3/5 stat that you're not thrilled to get at that point. Lucky Egg did not stick around for terribly long. I never really liked this, getting a random tier 3. It's not like you got the effect of it if it was a battle cry or anything useful like that. So it really was kind of hard to enjoy the Lucky Egg to me. I'm sure people had some good luck with it. It did work for me a couple times, but for the most part, it always kind of felt like just a subpar triple when it was the best of all your triples. You're like, well, maybe whatever random crap it gives me will be better than the random crap it's already offered me. Sunscreener's gone. No more throwing divine shields to the front of the board. Was a fun counter ability that people didn't expect. I did like using that just to prevent people from triggering death rattles in the right order and whatnot. So I'm kind of gonna miss that, but not a huge deal. And Nala the Redeemer. I love Nala. Didn't really get enough play in my mind for myself, but Nala gone again. Now we've got some returning / changed neutral minions. First, Selfless Heroes back. Tier 2, 2/1 Death Rattle. Give a random friendly minion Divine Shield. I loved this card. In certain boards, this would sit on my board the entire game once I picked it up and just be there till it was gold, having fun. I definitely enjoy this minion. Saloon Dancer, I had completely forgot existed because it wasn't in the game for long initially, but tier 6, 4/5 Taunt. Whenever you cast a tavern spell, give 2 other friendly minions +4/+4. I mean, if you have a lot of spell generation, this definitely can give you some decent buffing going on. It's not insane value. It didn't really see much use the first time it was around, is my memory, but it's been a while, so maybe it was busted and I just completely forgot. But My memory is it wasn't super impactful. And finally, Errant Atrocity, looking like it's just a word changing. It doesn't say anything, at least the way I interpret it, for how the effect changes, because specifically it said how much it changed. Now it just says tier 6, 7/7 all, summon a 7/7 golem improved by each friendly minion type that died this combat, where previously it was summon a 7/7 golem, give it plus 7/7 for each friendly minion type that died this combat. I don't know if it's just trying to make the card less wordy, but now I feel like it would make it more confusing if you didn't know exactly what it did from before, but maybe that's just me. Maybe it does something completely else. Maybe it's obvious and you're like, you idiot heretic, it's this. I don't see it. I just say improved and that's it. It doesn't feel as good to me. I feel like I'm more confused by what this could do as opposed to the way it was worded before. All right, let's get into the new neutrals. All the stuff we've never seen before. What is it gonna be? First, we have the tier 3 2/5 resourceful soldier. Choose one. Give a minion +5 +2 or +2 +5. It's a buff that you can choose which one you need. You can tailor it to the stats you need. I like this a lot. I feel like this is a decent card. First of all, it's a 2/5 at tier 3, so not bad. I mean, you're only going to get the one use out of it when you play it, but it's still not a bad buff at all. At tier 5, we have the 7/3 mutated Lasher. Death Rattle for the rest of this combat. Your odd minions have +2 +3. Well, I mean, okay. Yes, it's an odd even thing, right? So it's going to buff all your odd cards, which is great, but it's just for this combat. I don't care that much. It's neat for like the moment you triple into it early and you have a bunch of odd tier cards, but otherwise it kind of feels like a dead card to me. What do you think? Finally, at tier 6, we have the Silver-Handed Recruit. This 4/4 neutral has Battle Cry, give your other even tier minions +4 +4. Once again, yes, if you happen to have a whole board of evens, it's a good buff. 4/4, you have a brand, because it's a Battle Cry, you can double that. Feels really nice. But at the same time, it's only if you've got a bunch of even cards, otherwise it's kind of dead. It's still not bad at all. It's just not crazy, and you'll notice it's other, so it never buffs itself. So basically, you're going to want to play this and get rid of it immediately. You really don't want this on your board unless you have a way to trigger it additional times, like during combat and whatnot. Otherwise, I mean, it could be really good in the new meta they're going for, but we'll wait and see. All right, mech players, are you ready? We've got a lot of changes. Mechs as you know them, I'm sorry, they're gone. This is a whole new mech world we're looking at, and this is going to be a pattern you're going to see coming through all the tribes, so get ready. Here are the minions leaving the mech pool. First, we have the exciting cord puller. Okay, no one really cares about the cord puller. I get that. Kaboombot is leaving. Sorry, people who like to build fun little meme decks. Kaboombot is going to be gone from the pool. We have Utility Drum. Gone. No more buffing based on how many magnetics you've attached. Sorry. Annoya Troop is gone again. This poor thing back and forth, but we won't be seeing it in any more lobbies. Scrap Scraper is gone. Mech players, no Scrap Scraper feels bad. I am gonna miss Scrap Scraper. Definitely a mech I always enjoy, but not anymore. At tier 6, some really painful losses. Whirling Lasso-matic, gone. That early triple into a whirling, no matter what build you're playing, always kind of feels good, right? It's got Divine Shield, it gives you spells. Oh, hate losing this one. Foe Reaper, gone. No more will you get to watch your Foe Reaper rip through your opponent, just destroying them. No more Foe Reaper. And finally, Polarizing Beatboxer, gone. No more infinite mech turns with all the gold you want, whether it's impossible to spend it. And that makes me sad. I always enjoy infinite lines. But let's face it, mech boards were getting insanely out of control when they could pull this off, this combo early with Scrapper and Beatboxer and the Utility Drone. And it did get really nutty. So it kind of makes sense they're pulling this, pulling back a bit on this and saying, we're going to put some new stuff in and check this out. Now for the returning and or changed minions. First, we're going to start with the Lullbot. Tier 1, 2/2 mech. Magnetic at the end of your turn, gain 1 health. Not a bad change. Moving it to tier 1, it fits. Has a little bit of health, I feel, pretty early, but still not bad at all. Ancestral Automaton still at tier 2, goes to a 2/4, has +2/+2 for each Ancestral Automaton you summon this game. So yeah, we're still going to be dealing with this, and the certain heroes who can abuse it are still going to be abusing it like they did before. Clunker Junker, tier 4, 3/4, mech, battle cry. Just choose a friendly mech to discover a mech to magnetize to it. Just going to be the same as before. They just changed its tier again. Returning from the past, a minion I definitely could live without ever seeing back. You'll know why in a minute when you remember what it can do. That is the tier 5, 6/4 Mech Murloc. After another friendly minion loses Divine Shield, gain Divine Shield. Yep. Having a couple of these sitting on the back of your line, both with Taunt, both with Divine Shield, while the rest of your Divine Shield minions bounce off your opponent and keep reapplying Divine Shields. And then the inevitable, hey, look, I've got 2 taunts with Divine Shield, so I hit one, it loses Divine Shield. Then I hit the other, that one loses Divine Shield, then the first one gains it again, and it just keeps repeating because the hits are stupid. Makes me go, why is this thing back? It was stupid the first time, it still feels stupid this time, and it's the same. No! Holy mackerel! What? Why? Just why? Mechajirax is listed here, and I don't think that's because of a change to Mechajiraxes. I believe it's because of the addition of a mech demon that can be magnetized that's being added there. And that is Shield of the Legion, a 7/3 tier 1 mech demon. Divine Shield can magnetize to mechs and demons. That is a good addition to the pool. Definitely feels nice to me. I don't see any leaving, so just get a 4th thing for Mechajiraxes to kick out. I'm fine with that. Okay, let's do it. Let's jump into the new mechs. And there are a lot of good, fun mechs, so get ready. First, we have the tier 2 4/4 Frantic Alarmobot, Magnetic, and Wind Fury. Yes, tier 2 4/4, already a phenomenal stat line. Almost absurdly good at tier 2 with Magnetic and Wind Fury. What? Why are you a tier 2? Are you sure you're not generated by something else and this is an error? Are you sure you're not really tier 4 or 3? I don't know, but here we go. It feels broken already with the stats and the abilities. It feels like it could be a 2/2 with Magnetic and Wind Fury and be fine, but it's a 4/4. Expect nerfs really fast. This one is clearly a problem before launch. Next, we have the Mechanome Interpreter. Hey, tier 2, 2/3. Whenever you play a magnetic minion, give it +2/+3. So on turn 3, I could have a minion sell it, buy a Mechanome Interpreter, who's a 2/3, and then buy a Frantic Alarmobot in the same shop, and play it either attached to the Mechanome or by itself, and then it would be a 6/7 with Divine Shield, Wind Fury, turn 3. Didn't they say they were bringing the power level of the game down, or did the mech person not get the memo? Because I feel like something isn't matching the messaging here. Well, here we are. Let's see how it works. I don't hate the Mechanome at all by what it does right now, but when coupled with things like Frantic Alarmobot, even if you make it a 1/1, I'm already starting to go, problems. At tier 3, we have the 4/1 mech Arcanatron activated. Arcanatron. But this is taunt. Whenever you cast a tavern spell, give a friendly mech +3/+2. I mean, stat-wise, I don't love it. The taunt I don't care about. It almost feels like it could be a magnetic minion. The giving the 3/2 buff is fun if you have ways to get cheap spells or generate them, but I don't know. It's not bad. I'm not excited. You know what? It's probably fine at tier 3. It just makes me look at the tier 2 mechs and go, jumping up to tier 4, we have the 3/5 mech, the Marquis Ticker. Oh wait, did we need spell generation? At the end of your turn, get a random tavern spell. Well, it's an end of turn effect. It does work with Jakari Enchanter. Keep that in mind. And it's not a bad body. 3/5's not insane for tier 4 at all, but getting a tavern spell also, 1 to 6 gold a turn, depending on the tier you're on and your luck. Not bad. I think this feels more in line with the power levels they were discussing versus what we saw earlier in the list of minions. At tier 5, we have the 6/6 mech Moonsteel Juggernaut. At the end of your turn, get a 3/3 magnetic satellite and improve this. Well, what does that mean? Improve this? Do we improve the Moonsteel? Do we improve the Juggernaut? I want to know what these are. But the Moonsteel Satellite's a 3/3 magnetic, and we have already seen there's a number of ways we can buff these and get buffed by playing magnetics. So this is an interesting thing. It's an end of turn effect, so once again, does stack with Drakari Enchanter, giving us more potential. I mean, we're generating more magnetics, which is more stats, plus whatever the improvement is, we're getting more of that. So I definitely think this is going to be an interesting card, depending what that improvement is, but just based on what we've seen already, it feels like these are pretty powerful. At tier 5, we have the 4/8 Hollow Rover. Divine Shield. Whenever this attacks, get a random magnetic mech. Once again, ways to generate magnetics, and this thing just has to attack, and it has Divine Shield, so it's going to survive typically that first swing. I like this. This has, once again, some real potential. If you triple into this, you're going to get value out of it. After that first combat decently, it's a 4/8 body, which isn't bad with Divine Shield, plus easy to buff because they're mechs. So I like this. I like this a whole lot. Finally, at tier 6, we have the 2/2 mech Dr. Boom's Monster. Magnetic has +2/+2 for each time you've magnetized this game, wherever this is. So it's an aura type effect. That's useful for a lot of things. Well, first, if you find this late in the game, you're going to get buffs on it just because of the number of magnetics you've played, which of course is going to be valuable. And then in addition to that, because it's an aura effect, it makes you immune to minions like Bramblewish if they're still in the game. Things like that won't affect you, and I really like that. So I definitely feel that Dr. Boom's Monster will be an interesting addition to the mech boards, and I'm looking to see how much fun I can have with it. It's going to be a hard to pivot into thing. I don't think we're going to see mech boards where you're like, oh, I found Dr. Boom's Monster, now I'm going mechs, because it's not going to be big if you've not done any magnetics, so what's the point? But if you're already kind of like leaning into mechs and you're finding a whole bunch, or if the shop's perfect when you get this, could get big really fast, and definitely will be an interesting, fun play. All right, that's it. That is all the new heroes, mechs, neutrals, all the good spells, everything. I am super excited for this season for what I've seen. They've said they're ratcheting the power level down a little bit. We're going to try to, keep those ridiculously big boards to a minimum. We're still gonna see them. It's early. We're gonna find something that breaks this game wide open, that makes completely busted, combinations of things like we always do. But as long as they can patch it in a couple weeks, hopefully, we can get it in line pretty quick. And I really have some optimism at the start, at least. I think thematically, mechs feel really good. The neutral changes, no problems. The spells and heroes all look good. I am excited. How do you feel? Let me know. Talk in the comments below. Post some shit, because I want to know what you think about this stuff. And hey, if you want, come join me over on Twitch. We're always talking about this. We're always playing games, hang out in Discord, all that good stuff. You know how it is. I can't wait to see you in the Battlegrounds. Until then, have a good one. Later.